Expiration. Inspiration. Expiration. Inspiration. Connect with the beginning, which is the heart. Without the heart, nothing else can grow. Expiration. Inspiration. Without the heart, nothing else matters. Literally. We are not here to practice being love. What are we here to practice? Expiration. Inspiration. Everything you are experiencing, everything you are going through is all a practice in becoming what you already are. It's a shedding process. It's a slow, continual, eternal distillation until all that's left is love and its abilities. When you are angry, you are practicing being love. Don't see it as anything different. When you are fearful, you are still practicing being love. Expiration. Inspiration. I want to bring into your meditation today a message that I received in my meditation last week. What we are willing to do when no one is watching is then something ready to be witnessed by many. What we are willing to do when no one is watching is then something ready to be witnessed by many. When you are willing to practice in your most silent, solitary moments, or in moments that are busy and surrounded by chaos, movement, things you feel no one even notices, never go unnoticed by life. Intentions, good intentions you hold within you, never go unnoticed by life. The simple things, holding a door, sending a smile, never go unnoticed. Sometimes they go unnoticed to the individuals around you. They never go unnoticed by life itself. What we're willing to do when no one is watching shows our true character, shows where we're really at. It means we no longer are doing something to receive credit, admiration, affirmation or praise. It means what we do from our heart. We do for that which gives us life. We do for that which has given us all so much already. It is a simple sign of gratitude and thanks. That is true leadership. That is truly being an example. Many times the best examples are not the most publicized, as we know. They are not the most recognized. That's a good sign. For if you are brought into a space of recognition, if you are brought into a space of public leadership, because you have been willing to tirelessly do what no one sees, then you know it is God's will that has brought you there, not your own ego, desire, or want. And you can be completely at peace with your qualifications to be in that situation. For it was not something in you wanting to be something that brought you there. It was something in you becoming something that brought you there. You can be very at peace knowing that what brought you to that moment will be with you in that moment, guide you in that moment, support you in that moment. The outer reaction is no longer necessary. Although I think you have found and will continue to find, for the most part, is pleased. Life affirms order within it and around it. Acknowledges it in its own subtle, loving ways. Beyond a word or a touch sometimes. Expiration. Expiration. Family all around you, see your brothers and your sisters, see God incarnate sitting in all the seats around you, see all the beautiful ways in the human race that it recreates itself, shows itself, reflects itself. You are surrounded by love. Well, all I can say is the last class was very moving, very changing, very transformative in many, many ways. I want to share with you a couple things that you all are a part of, and I think you'll be inspired by. Patients that once saw me that lived here have moved to different parts of the country, and in some cases different parts of the world. And I don't want to say a specific period of time because I couldn't be completely honest, but it was very shortly after the video of the second class was posted. I received a Facebook reply from a girl who used to see me and lives in California. And she said that she watched the class, and at the end when people were stepping up and embracing the healings and were affirming and receiving them in their voice, she was inspired to go along with everybody and say those things for herself, and she was so grateful and thankful that she was able to receive that. And my response to her was that anyone's healing, okay, is everyone's healing.
Mm-hmm.
So another response was from a woman who saw me, and she moved to Brazil, and she is now connecting, and Sarah is going to be sending her the study sheets, and she was asking how she could get a book. She's had the book many times, and she always, like so many of you, she always gives them away.
Mm-hmm.
So she, I says you can try and order it on Amazon. I'm not sure how that works out of country, but I just want you to know that already the energy is touching lives all around the country and in different countries now. Karen, who's not here tonight, she is mailing a book to a family member in Switzerland and going to ask them to begin watching the classes and receiving the study guides. So it's pretty amazing that in 2 weeks, it's already at an international level. As small as it will be, the seeds are being planted and it's growing. So it's so important that you all realize what an incredibly important part your presence and your intention plays in that. That we are this little membrane full of cells right now, and we're just dividing, and we're growing, and we're dividing. You know, we don't look any bigger than when we started, but there's a lot of inertia building inside of us. And when the time is right, that division will take place, and we just get to watch it. You know, we don't have to make it happen. We make it happen by the message that I brought you, right? We make it happen by doing all the things that nobody sees. We make it happen by practicing the practice in our own lives. We make it happen by being it and knowing that that energy is just transcends all space and time, and it's vibrating out there, and other frequencies that are in the same frame as us are picking up on it, feeling drawn to it. And I just think that's just miraculous. So I don't know about any of you as you watched it, but I felt that in many ways some of those healings were on some level even for me. So I was so grateful that those who stepped forward and gave themselves to that, did it so courageously and so honestly. Just know it was a life-changing event for them as well as it was for everybody who did it. So a little bit of housekeeping here. Next Tuesday, I won't be here, so we won't have class next Tuesday. So we'll put it out in the email, but next Tuesday I won't be here. I'm being called to be on a leadership council for Standard Process, which is a company that I'm involved with, and they're asking me to be a part of shaping the company and its goals and its vision going forward. So I'm very honored to be asked to do that. There was only, it's a group of 8 people, and there was only 4 doctors in the whole country that were asked, and I was honored to be asked. So I'll be doing that. So that's where I'm going to be next Tuesday. So that's why we won't have class. But with the class being online and everything, there's just so much information in every class to just absorb and go back and learn from. So it's just so that won't be here next Tuesday. So I want to start with our discussion, revisiting some things we covered last week. So the first thing I want to do is, before we get to this part of it, I just want to ask, I always want to start our class this way because I just felt so inspired by it last time. You know, we'll watch our time, we'll get better at moving through things, but I want to ask anyone about experiences that they had after the last class. More things they may have noticed, experiences they may have had that they can connect to just giving their life more to being in this practice of love and peace and acceptance. Does anybody have anything that comes to mind that they experience? Is anybody aware of anything? Anyone? Yeah, some shy people.
I paid more attention this past week than I have in a long time to what I attach to. It's not, it's like goes beyond judgments. It's like, what emotions am I attached to? What attachments am I picking up? Because I think that comes before the judgment is the attachment. So I was really, it just really kept raising in my awareness, which was just the coolest thing ever, because if I'm not aware of it, I can't do
That's right.
about it. But it's also just accepting that, yeah, I'm a human being, and human beings form attachments, and
another side note is Catherine Katz here tonight? Is she here tonight? Oh, excellent, excellent. I couldn't remember your last name. So last week we threw it out to the universe that we needed a blog, and you sent us an email, and we have a group blog. So thank you so much for that. That was a wonderful intention, and it's already in creation. And it's called The Practice, and it's a group. Anyone who wants to join The Practice on Facebook, you just join, and obviously we're accepting everybody that wants to be a part of it. And then it'll be another place we post the videos, but more than that, I hope it's some place where we can start to reach out to each other and talk to each other and talk about things that we have going on, and maybe reach out to other members of the practice for support or advice or prayers or intentions or whatever. So thank you for that. That already now exists, and thank you for everyone who worked to put it together, Carla and Sarah. So I want to make sure I mention that. So everyone who enjoys that, thank you for that. That was awesome. So what I want to start with what I got out of the last class, aside from the healings, is when I'm with so many of you, I have a purpose when I'm doing a visit with you. I have a purpose and I have a function. I'm at work. It's not a, I use this word lovingly, but it's a job. I have a purpose to serve. There's something I'm supposed to do when I'm with you, and I'm very focused on doing that. Those of you who've seen me know that I am just very focused on what I'm helping you go through, transcend, deliver all the things that I'm called to do when I'm with an individual. And for that reason, I never really get to look at what's really happening from the outside. I don't ever get to see it. So I have to tell you, after 20 years, I finally got to see it. So watching it happen on that last show, I finally got to see what happens when I'm actually with someone and not being in it that way. So, you know, in my own selfish way, nothing else ever came of the last show, but me finally getting a chance to see what the heck it looks like to come see me. It was because I kind of had some of the reactions that you all have with me. I was kind of shaking and going, "Oh my God, just breathe." So after all those years, it was really wild to see it, and I have to say it was pretty freaking cool. It was pretty freaking cool. So let's get into our focus points. And I just want to ask anyone again, and if I don't get any hands, I'll start calling on people. What feelings did you feel challenged by the most the last week? Anybody? What feelings? Kathy?
Abandonment.
Interesting.
And the first thing I said was, thank you, God, for this opportunity, because I immediately started identifying it instead of getting deep into it. Oh, I feel abandoned. Where'd she go? I really started to identify it, and turns out she didn't abandon me at all. It was my own feeling about how that particular interaction on test, which is not a very good place to really get going with. I just interpreted something. I immediately felt abandonment. She had something else going on and just left the conversation. Wow. But it wasn't abandonment at all. It was so concise in terms of the experience. It was like, whoa, I just looked at that feeling and now I understand it, and what's that all about?
And you have a whole other level of enlightenment whenever you experience it again. And again, as you go through that practice again and again with that specific emotion, the first thing you're going to think is, okay, well, she probably just has something going on. Whereas now the default is, you know, was anyway, I feel abandoned. But now it'll be, you know, she probably just has something going on. You won't think the worst until you actually have proof that it's true. And that's a huge step towards that. And texting, okay, there's a wonderful practice in that. You know, it's a wonderful practice in communication without judgment, because you really don't have any idea what the heck anyone's doing. You don't have any idea what's going on in their life. You don't have any idea what's going on, right?
Right.
Now, is there anything different about when you have a conversation with somebody? Do you know what's going on in their life? Do you know what they've been through for the last hour? Do you know what they're thinking? No. So in that way, texting is a very valuable tool to practice our practice of healthy disconnection and non-emotional reaction. That's a great example.
Well, like I told you last week, it's popping everywhere.
Hmm.
It's like everywhere I turn, I'm hearing God and I'm seeing God, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, she's in a space where she's letting go of resistance, and you know that she's in that logarithmic movement where she's just letting go of her stuff, and the rate of change is increasing, and so she's seeing it everywhere instead of having to look for it. So that's wonderful. Somebody else? Anybody else want to say anything? We almost have an emotion they want to talk about. David?
The one I wrote down was love, because I was still feeling a lot of resistance towards it.
Yeah.
I've never been open to it, so I'm not quite sure I know how.
Okay. So what I'd like to say about that is that that's the most common emotion that people are not open to. And the most common reason is I'm just not open to it. And I want to help everybody just take a deep breath right now. You're going to hear a truth and it's going to set you free from that. David told the truth he knows, but there's a deeper truth that'll liberate him. We have all been open to love and been hurt, and that's why we're not open to it. So you have been open to it. You know how to be completely open to it. You wouldn't be in existence if you weren't completely open to it. But you've been hurt. We felt the deepest pain we've all felt has been associated with being loving. So the deepest resistance to love we have again is that we were once completely open, completely loving, and we were hurt. And from that place, we get defensive and we harden our heart. But you're not resistant to love. You're resistant to getting hurt because you're being loving. There's a big difference. You see the difference? All of us are love. So we can't be resistant to what we are. That's why as we work together, you know, that resistance will go. You don't have a choice but to continue to enter back into the space of love. Now the example I give is, this doesn't mean that you are a doormat, it doesn't mean you get abused, it doesn't mean you get into situations where you're being treated unkindly. You allow yourself to have the appropriate loving relationship, okay, with another person that it's able to have, that life allows, okay? So I use the funny example, you don't try and hug somebody who's swinging around a chainsaw. Okay? Because it's not going to work. You're going to get hurt, right? So if someone's swinging around a chainsaw, this is loving. If they're swinging around that chainsaw right there, this is loving. This is the appropriate loving relationship I can have with someone. Okay? It doesn't mean I'm not loving or I'm resisting being loving. I'm letting life tell me what the appropriate loving relationship I can have, so that I get to experience love. I get to be loving. But I also have an acceptance of the situation that I'm trying to be loving with, and I can be appropriate. And I can let life decide what level of intimacy is appropriate. Okay? And there's no wrong level of intimacy. Does that make sense? So I would ask you to look deeply into when is the first time you truly felt love, okay? You remember feeling love and being hurt. Okay? And that's the place of pain you need to go to. That's the block you need to remove, because then that will no longer be reinforced and your heart will begin to open. But the practice is all about getting into the heart. That's what you're letting go of. You're letting go of everything to just get into the heart. But that's why. Okay? It's very, very common. It's a great, great one.
You said you have no choice but to go back into being love. Being love.
Being loved.
I guess I don't quite understand that.
Okay. If it's okay. Let me use a wonderful metaphor. Okay. If you put an ice cube.
Hold on.